Mikey gonna be here?
She's look at this.
What in the world? Whoa.
Hey.
Whoa.
Don't go up there. Jeez.
Good afternoon.
Must have nothing in the world to do tonight.
Well, gonna roll out of headquarters.
Pass it. The envelope, please. Right up there next to you, 'cause mine can't handle it.
Citation.
Or if you want me to sit there and you can sit here,
I gotta leave, so.
you want to sit here, I'll go sit right.
I guess I won't need that too soon, will I?
Indiana skills.
Unless you're planning on moving to Kentucky.
Leave the money. You left the money down there.
That's where
No,
they
there
like
won't
to
be
use
much
it.
in there. You'll spend it all though.
Tony, are there any claims
Oh, he
against?
understood once we showed it to him. Has it been on the table for how long?
Yeah. Should have a,
It's one sheet I didn't get. Okay, when I do this, do I have to
No.
ask for, this is where I get that.
no, this is the financial.
I know that.
Okay.
You want me to pump your chair up? There's
I
a
have to get
lever
a
on there, you
motion
pump it
to
up.
Approve the claims.
Right,
that's
but on
this.
the claims, I don't, do I?
Go pull up on it and it'll come up. There you go.
Okay, it's on here.
There you go.
Yeah, that's,
But when I said comments or approval of claims once properly certified, I just
ask
asked.
for a motion. Get a second,
Okay.
that's all you gotta do.
It's the only question I had.
BP.
Plus,
Early in the morning.
how to read $2,126,000. $2,126,013.22.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, Mike,
You'll be fine.
I know.
that's for the UCB thing, right?
Just give me a shout.
Meeting went okay. No.
Good. I just didn't remember it. I remember the other three things I wanted to do, but the artwork was not one of them, so. But anyway, you guys approved it, we're good.
Olin Clausen is. And he's out of town. He's in New Mexico.
Mexico.
New
What?
Mexico.
Nope,
He
Mexico.
went to see
Same
his,
thing.
his family.
I can just imagine.
Let's go, Florida. Probably is.
How's your?
My knee, doing good.
Good.
Oh.
Glad you did it.
Yeah. Now I gotta do the other one. It's not good.
I'm good, how are you?
I did two of them, and it about kicked both at the same time. And he belongs to the Legion, son,
He's non-voting.
and he's got a,
That's right. We're good.
he had a lot of problems, health-wise,
I was-
because his
had to bring
body
it for a
couldn't. Yeah. What's his name? Owen's not gonna be here. Mike's not gonna be here. There's three of them.
We're good. Bree's good. 4 with Pat for,
Hey, Tony?
4 for now.
I went to Legion at both his knees. Had a heart.
I remember what happened 40 years ago, but I can't remember it.
You gonna have anything to do with that parade this year?
Nothing. Nothing. It was an insult to Lawrenceburg. I was told last year.
I heard
Keith
something like that.
now, he's the one that said it was an insult and
I was one of the
embarrassment, but now he's trying to back out. So I got nothing.
I'll take
Nick and I are,
You guys have a meeting
he
on
ran it for
Wednesday,
25
right?
years.
tonight of 10% versus 10,000.
I was gonna put that that 6-person bike of mine in there this year.
See Cunningham. See Keith Faulkner. Call Keith Faulkner. See what he says. I'm kind of upset about it.
Thank you. Oh, God, he's gonna give a sugar fit.
Give me some. Here. Thanks.
She's not crazy. She knows good eating.
Not really.
Yeah, they're in that temporary building over by,
Gummy bear?
or they're in that building over by the city garage.
You know, I tried some of those, that running back for Seattle. He just Skittles.
Mm.
Got that big ball of sugar. I mean, they're all little sugar. I smell good. God, how could you eat
Which one? The one they left?
You ever tried them?
Yeah, I like them.
You gotta, I mean,
I don't eat them all the time, every
keep
once in
you
a while.
alive. I mean, keep, okay, you ready?
Yep, already.
Call to order, Lawrenceburg Redevelopment Commission, May 11th, 2015. Roll call.
Grant Hughes,
Here.
Mike Lawrence, absent. Tom Rogers,
Here.
Tony Abbott,
Here.
Donnie Bryant,
Yep.
Olin Clausen is absent. School Board Member Patrick Myers,
Here.
and City Attorney Leslie Votaw.
Here.
Okay, approval minutes from previous meeting. Have you guys read that?
So move.
Is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Announcements. Next regular meeting, June 8th, 2015, 5 PM. Financial report. $2,126,013.22. Do I have a motion to approve? Second?
Second.
All's in favor? Passed. New business. Paul Seymour.
Couple things, Olin's not here tonight. I should still bring up the storm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that discussion was based on your request to have the city actually do the tap. And
Okay.
Olin's position on it is that we're not going to get into that. He doesn't want to do that work.
That's fine.
If it's needed, that's the issue. If it's needed,
If it's needed, I'll explain it to you guys. When, over here on Arch and Center, throughout town here, really, you're gonna run into it as you build these houses, that if needed, we might have to tie the downspouts into a storm drain. Well, it sounds like an easy task. Over on Fox Drive, the city went around and put a storm system in so that I could tap into it and bring it to the property line. But I made a request to Utility Director Olin the other night at the Utility Board meeting, and I asked him if he would bring it to the property line, and he doesn't want to get into it. He suggested that it is a redevelopment issue and possibly they wouldn't mind paying for it. Now, from my standpoint, it is a little bit of a cost if I gotta get out in the street. It's manageable if I can go to a tap. Just like your water and your sewer and everything goes. It's just, it gets real costly when you gotta go through that sidewalk, through the curb, out into the alley or out into the street. Now, this wouldn't involve a sidewalk nor a curb, but it would involve going into an alley. Personally, I think I'd like to see him do it, but what gets done is between, I guess he's wanting a vote from you guys to either assist with it or not. I don't know if you want a decision tonight or time for these guys to think about it and talk to him about it. To me, it's not going to make a difference whether I start a house or not. I've already sold that house and I'm going to do it. It's could affect some future things if I have to do it. Honestly, guys, if I have to do it on the next house, I'm not going to buy a lot. The costs are getting to be to where it's hard. And when you get to that certain amount of money, it's going to turn people off. So I would like to see the city continue what they did in the past just by bringing me a tap to the property. That's all I'm asking for.
You're going to bigger houses, it seems, all the time, and, you know, the cost might be there, but the city's got an awful lot of cost too. We buy these blighted places, we tear them down, we got a ton of money in there, and then we, you know, do all these appraisals, and then we sell them, you know, you're getting them darn cheap, you know.
I ain't getting anything cheap. People are. First, that's the first thing I want to say is guys, I might be buying these things for $10, but Donnie, I'm just passing it on. I'm trying to put people in homes, new homes for you. And right now, part of the reason why, you know, we went to 10% is we're building in between old houses now. Like I said before, we got community mental health behind them, right behind them in the alley now. The police go there 2 and 3 times a week.
We're talking even high as 15.
Absolutely.
I mean, it just seems like it's crawling up all the time.
It ain't crawling. It's stayed steady for 4 years. All I've ever asked for, and I've talked to several people, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I mentioned that when them lots were full, we're going to have to up the ante. We're going to be building between rental property. We're going to be building between old houses. 2, maybe 3 years ago, I brought this up. So this hasn't creeped up to nobody. We haven't been asking for more and more. If anything, I've been given more and more out of my pocket to build these homes.
Well, I don't want to step on no one's turf, you know.
I don't need a decision tonight. If you guys want to talk to him, you sure can.
That's one thing, Paul, before I would say, look,
Okay.
what we do to storm drain is, we've got no money. I don't know whether it's 2,000 or 20,000 to do it. So, I mean, we gotta have a price to say, let's go ahead and do it.
Was that something you would maybe find out once you actually get in there?
I was hoping in-house it could be done.
I doubt the beat wouldn't be subbed out more.
Well, I think Owen said that he
We
could
did
do
research
it.
that, and he has no problem performing the work, but he wants reimbursed for the work.
Yeah, he said he had no line items to cover that in his budget, and that he would just ask that if redevelopment chooses so, wants him to do that, that they reimburse him his costs.
Okay, so it would not be subbed out.
No, he would self-perform this.
Bring your mic down there, Tony.
So you don't have to have an answer tonight, so I'd kind of feel better if there's more board members here.
Correct, Donnie, I don't think it's 15%, we're up to 10% of the total cost.
Well, that's
which-
right.
Which is not 15, it's just 10% of the total cost.
So that's on the agenda tonight. Is it 10,000 or 10%?
It's-
'Cause
it-
it's always
we-
Well,
been 10,000.
that's the next subject.
That's the next subject,
That's our next-
if you all want to.
That's the next subject.
I thought we agreed on the 4 houses, it was 10%.
You know, one thing, Paul, was when we started this program, you and I talked about all this. This was to get young buyers into Lawrenceburg, kids who were out there paying $700 a month rent, and they couldn't afford to save that down payment. So we got the $10,000 to help these kids into these smaller houses. We weren't trying to build now it looks like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but now we're trying to build for people, older people who already have the money that could build it themselves. You're selling to that type, which I'm
Well,
not saying is a bad thing.
no,
I mean,
no, I
our original idea was to bring younger kids back down to Lawrenceburg and help them out with their down payments.
And it's worked, and you're right to an extent, but, I can't, I guess the way to answer that, Tony, is when somebody calls me up that lives in Aurora, and they're old and they want to come somewhere where it's flat, you guys have put all the money in the community center. You've put the pool out there where they can bring their grandkids. You've done this, you've done that, and you're saying we want people to come to Lawrenceburg and build a house, and they just show up saying, I want a little bit nicer house in Lawrenceburg, here's what I want. I can't sit there and tell them, no, that's a little bit too nice, we don't want you here. I can't do that.
Well, then maybe we ought to put some kind of restrictions on this, saying, this 10,000 is to help people. And if the ones who are trying to buy these houses from you don't need the help, then why should Lawrenceburg have to put out the 10,000 for them?
It's not only helping the people, but it's, to be honest with you, I think you know as well as I do that this idea that you had 4 or 5 years ago about helping people with this 10,000 is the sole and only reason why we ever sold one house. It's it. You can't take it away. If you take it away, you ain't gonna sell this house.
I know, but what I'm saying, are we getting out of that group of buyers we were trying to help in the beginning and moving up higher?
No, and the next, honestly, your buyers are gonna come and go and they're gonna want what they want, and this 10% is maxed out at 15 total, and we've been trying to get a house in this town, and we just sold one. We were $100 shy of 150 grand, and I think you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, but by us selling a house for $150,000, it gives the bank something else to look at when the next person wants to buy a house. Are comps going to ever come into a factor on this, Grant, or is there any advantages for you guys? I don't know that we're ever going to sell a $200,000 house in this town, but 150, this house is selling right now, and yes, it is a little bit bigger square footage, but these people want to come here, and there again, I just sold a house for 150 for 1,460 square feet, and I am also selling a house for 150 with 1,600 square feet, so that goes to prove my point that I just want to sell these houses and keep these people coming.
But on the other hand too, since we put the convention center in and done all of these, we got such good services and everything in this town, there's more people with their money wanting to get in here and spend their money, We brought this program along, but I think we're at a point where we need to start holding the line and maybe even backing up in the near future. We still got some lots over in the corner that ain't finished. We've got lots all over this town.
No, we don't. We don't have to. Yeah, I'd like to build a house over there.
Well, there's 3 of them, right?
Nah, there was two buildable, and they would be 2 small ones, and I'd like to put a nice house over there.
Hey, Mike,
Yeah, just a comment that I do want to make, because I issue all the zoning certificates. Carl can verify this. He issues all the building permits. We don't issue any new residential construction permits that don't have this subsidy. And
don't
there
have
again,
what?
I know
That don't have the subsidy.
you mentioned that, maybe we need to hold off. We can definitely do that, but I can just tell you from issuing permits, won't issue any new residential permits downtown because I'm not issuing any that don't have this subsidy.
Well, now that you got into that, when I was out knocking on doors, there's a gentleman down here on Center that wanted to build a house behind the fire department. What was the holdup on? We've got people that's wanting to use their money. What was the holdup on him?
He's gotta have the lot first, Donnie.
Oh, he-
That gentleman doesn't own the property.
He was wanting to buy it.
Well, there again, that is on a piece of property that Dollar General is purchasing from you guys. Until he gets his subdivision done and that private individual and Dollar General get together to sell him that lot, he can't build a house if he doesn't own the property.
I know, it seemed like he had come to you several times about different
About
projects.
that same property that he did not own.
Well, see, I think we're sort of getting into a transition now, Seth. There are people out there that's willing to put their own money into their house and not with the $10,000 grant, because we've got everything. We've got the event center, we've got the playgrounds, we've got the community center, the adult center, and we'll have a dollar store here downtown. That's everything everybody wants. So I think we're getting into that transition now where people may not want that $10,000. They just want a lot to build a house on downtown because they want to be downtown. That's the entertainment district. That's where everything is at now. So, I mean, I still like this $10,000. Don't get me wrong. We worked on that and.
Well, that was a good
Can I say
program.
something here? Tony,
It's
where are
helped
these
out.
people? You got a guy building a house for $150,000 and we're quibbling over this $10,000. It seems like if you have a little money, we don't want you. But where are these people the starter home people? Where are they? Have they approached you?
Subdivision full of them, they got this.
Well, we're right,
That was more than one
okay,
year.
right now, where are they? Do we have any in line right now?
Absolutely, I'm coming to you tonight with two of them. They're here, guys, they want to move here, they need help. Tony, you're right in a sense, but don't forget about this. They want to come downtown, but the way times are right now, the banks ain't getting off of this 20% down. They ain't getting off of it, and these people can't do it.
Oh, I mean, that's the way it was when we started this. I mean, these kids still have to have some kind of skin in the game, because we didn't want to give them their whole down payment just to get the house. They have to work at it.
What's changing about it?
I'm not saying anything's changing in fact. I'm for the $10,000 program.
I know you are, and I personally feel like it's a program that should be around when all of us are gone. If you want to rebuild this city, guys, I know for a fact right now there's 2 or 3 houses around town that the banks have got that guys are going to put bids in on. They're going to probably buy them for $10,000, $15,000. To me, I think that's a crime. A couple of them are sitting here leaning like this. You guys got $2 million in that account, and there ain't a reason in the world why you shouldn't be chasing that kind of property and tearing them kind of houses down to where we can get people like you're talking about to put a new home up possibly on that lot instead of somebody going in there and painting something, throwing a new cabinet in there, putting a new toilet in there and saying, I'll take $800 a month from these poor people that are renting downtown.
Well, I got that on I was gonna bring up tonight, I talked to Grant about that. We're gonna get Carl involved in that, these slumlords.
Well, you have your hand.
If I could, gentlemen, the reason we looked at moving from 10,000 now, the 10,000.
Excuse me, could we move back to the tap on we're gonna table that, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, do we have to vote on that? Do I have a motion to table the tap on the storm drain? For a second. Those in favor? Against? Okay, now we're moving on to the 10,000 or the 10%, okay? All right, excuse me, go ahead.
Sorry about that. Originally, when the 10,000 was set up, it was set up for 10% with a max of $10,000. And if I'm right, that was 6 years ago?
2009, I believe.
Right. So when we started looking at that and looking at the, how the bank changed, how they do business from 6 years ago, to how the purchaser has changed, because it takes a more qualified purchaser now, and then you take the cost of the material and that's kind of how that evolved. The only thing we really changed is it's still 10%, but we just increased it from 10,000 to 15,000. Now that was on Arch and Center. back in February, when we sold the property at Euthemia to Satch, we said that the 10,000 would be available there. So the issue is on Euthemia, is it the 10K or is it 10% of the cost? Now, I think you wanted to interject that you have this is an ADA person?
I wouldn't call her ADA, I'm gonna say she's a special needs person. She's sick. She came to me, we had a meeting last Friday. She's lived out in California for probably 30 years. She's sick. She came home to be with her family, and she came to that house and she wants to buy it. Well, we've got the drywall up, we've got the tubs in, we've got a lot of work done on the house, and she's needing some things done. For instance, one of the tubs with the door in it so people can help her when she needs to get her baths. We had to go from carpet to some hardwood because at some point here coming up, she's going to have a wheelchair in there. Several things like that. I had a meeting with her. This goes back to this. She wanting a privacy fence for the reason that the neighbors don't exactly keep their shed and their yard that nice. That's what I mean about trying to sell a house in between other houses. So she's came to me, she says, Paul, I want this house. And I said, Jenny, what I'll do is go to redevelopment. They've agreed to the 10,000 already. I'll try to see if they'll go 10% of what you want to help out. If you say no, I'm still going to take the offer to her. But if you remember right, a couple years ago I came to you guys, and on that piece of property, I wanted to try to put a full-blown handicap house on that. I gave you a proposal, you said no, I didn't do it, and here we are. Now I'm going to be remodeling a new house. So I'm just sitting here seeing if you might be interested in getting this gal here in town, another buyer that wants it. There again, out of this, you're only looking probably between $3,000 and $5,000. I went and talked to Pat down at Main Street. There's $16,000 left in the Main Street fund, so they don't have enough for two houses anyhow. And I just thought, well, I might as well ask. All you can say is no. I'm not going to get upset if you say no, because Grant and Pat and everybody are right. That was the agreement from Main Street, was $10,000. I'm just asking.
Did we ever set, did they set a certain amount that we put aside for the down payment? 10%?
Oh, have we set a lump sum together? No, we were just...
Did we set a certain amount, how much we're going to put into it? No, we got 16,000 left from the previous time. That was 100,000 I think we put in there to begin with, wasn't it?
That's more than that.
No, it was more than that.
So we had 10 of them.
I went to Main Street in 2010, and I think maybe at the end of 2009 and beginning of 2010 is when we did the first one. And it was more, I think it was,
the first time we did it 10,000, 10 of them 10,000.
It's $350,000 because you had 21 lots and you had 13 up there. You did it all at once
Townhouses, included townhouses.
on Walnut.
That was to get the townhouses. And there's 12 units there, right? 12.
I think you need to add to it now and give us a figure of what we're going to be figuring on, whether it's going to be 10% or 10,000.
I'd like to see it still.
Why?
The original program.
You've already voted to let it be 10%.
Now, you mean
clarification.
recently.
Yeah, that was a clarification.
But
That was on
this one was
Arch and Center.
done when we were just doing the 10,000. Is that
Right.
what, is that what it was?
That was on Arch and Center because bigger lot, bigger home.
So this will be more cost because of the ADA.
What would the
Well,
board like to do on this? 10,000 or 10%?
We can, if it makes us feel better, Don, we can put a limit on it of that 10%.
What is the square footage of that houses over here? we've been looking
1,300 square feet on the one I'm building now, but we've had them between 1,300 square feet and 1,460.
at? Over there on the other side of town, what's them ones over there, square feet?
Between 1,300 and 1,460 square feet.
This one, these ones on, up here on Arch Street? What, how big are they?
Well, now, here's, that one's gonna be 1,640. But here's the other thing I'd like to, I don't, let's say a month from now, I come in here and I got another buyer for Arch Street. I don't know that the next person's gonna want 1,650 square feet. They might want 1,460.
That's what we're trying to hold, always, if we want, if we're gonna build these smaller homes, we stay at the down.
But here's the thing,
And then bigger ones sold.
Donnie, most of the houses that,
Put the money out there where you can just add to each home.
but you're looking at a town full of 900 square feet houses and you're griping about a 1,460 square foot home. Hell, that home will fit in anywhere you go.
Well, you know as well as I do, and you've heard as much as anybody in here about people, all the money we're spending, tearing down these homes and everything, and the city putting all this money in there. We're just trying to run it smooth as we can, be able to say why and how come.
Well, my answer to that is if anybody's complaining about this program, I'd look them straight in the eye and just tell them, it's one thing that's worked very well, and when you can figure out what, I'm not ashamed of this program.
I like it. I've always.
I'd run them off if they're complaining about it.
Mike? Okay, just another comment too, and there again, I'm in favor of this. Just the fact, long-term, when we use redevelopment money to create new tax base, because I work on the general budget every year, I would much rather receive taxes for a $160,000 home, because you're basically giving the lot for free. You got the 10,000 buy down. So what he charges, or actually for the house, it's actually more than that. I would much rather collect taxes for a $160,000 house than some of the early $120,000 houses. Nothing against those, Paul, but long-term, we're gonna recoup more tax dollars that go back into our general budget by having nicer homes. And I would think we would like to work towards that if at all possible.
One thing we're forgetting, we're guaranteeing the construction loan, correct? That's about $4,000 a house
No.
with the bank?
I'm doing that on my,
We did not get into a loan program on this.
We didn't?
Not on these.
It was talked about, but when we got down to it, based on the number of homes being constructed per year, it wasn't needed.
Excuse me, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the contractor has to subordinate all that. I think that's what Paul's doing.
You guys just need to make a decision whether you want to do the 10K or you
I
want to
just-
do the 10% for this particular buyer. and you
Well, he's
can-
got a person who,
10,000 or 10%, I mean, I'll be willing to work that, but I think we need to put a cap on it.
Okay.
Because if, say, Paul, somebody comes to you, they want a $250,000 home.
I agree with that.
You know how much them citizens are gonna say, what the heck are you?
I
doing?
agree with
Buy
that.
a house, and they're gonna build $250,000.
But that's what we
That's
did
not their
on
taxpayer money that they.
the other
We capped it
We
on the
capped
other
it.
one at 15.
Okay, So what is the cap now? Apparently this has already been voted on before.
For Arch Street up here.
When they did, when they, yeah, the
Oh,
cap was 10%, it capped at 15.
15,000?
And that, he's just asking for that same consideration because it's going to be more expensive for her to
This
put on
house,
all the ADA.
this house, I'm meeting with her tomorrow night. We're gonna talk about all the extras and things she needs to do. But this house could very well get up there, depending on what she settles on, it'll probably go between 145 and 160. It's up to her what she wants to put in it. So if it goes to 160, 10% of 160 is 16,000. She don't get 16,000. She would only get the 15.
I don't have a problem with 10% as long as we have the cap on it. But I think we need to wait till the full board is here to find out how much money we can take out of our budget and put in there for that program.
Yeah, we definitely need to
Okay, what would you like to do?
get it shored back up so we can keep
Table
it
till
going.
the next meeting, I mean, we'd have to, but.
Okay, I have a motion
But,
to,
we're in favor of it, Paul. It's just, how much money do we have to do it? I don't, maybe we give Main Street 100,000, maybe we give her 500,000. We have to come to a decision of that, how much are we gonna put into this?
Replenish the money in Main Street is what you're talking about, right?
Correct, out of this budget.
Table.
do I have a motion?
Second.
Was a motion to table?
Table.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, Grant Hughes?
Okay, the Special Crimes Residential Unit on St. Clair, they've moved out. Permission to get it appraised and put it up for sale.
That's great.
Yeah, I'd so move.
Second. All those in favor? All right,
Gonna buy that one, Satch? It's your old homestead.
pass.
All right, next one, condo purchase. I was contacted by A.J. Watts, and there was a $10,000 buyer's assistant available on the condos on Walnut Street. A.J. is looking to purchase a condo from Mark Bunchbach down here on the William Street. And he wants to know if that $10,000 is available to purchase, help him purchase that.
Can you also tell them about the loan part of it?
Go into the, okay, that property does have a loan on it from the city through the revolving loan program, and those proceeds will have to go back to the RLF committee.
And it's up to date now?
Huh?
They're up to date?
Yeah, as far as I know, they've been performing on that loan, yes.
Yes, I believe so. But I think they're only, one of them, they had two of them. There was one that was Dorman Properties, and then one that was these properties, and I think he only has to pay interest on it, so our request would be, that it be paid down on the principal
Yes,
of the loan.
Yeah, I would definitely,
yes.
because we did extend that loan one time, didn't we? Rewrite it?
Well,
Modified
there
it.
was, yeah, it was modified because he couldn't sell, and then he went to rentals,
They brought in the wrong size.
and then they brought, yeah, something,
Oh,
Yep.
no, the guy that went bankrupt.
He went
yes,
bankrupt.
building a
He
bond,
couldn't get his
Factory
package
did.
from the manufacturer.
right.
Pay for it second time.
Right. So, AJ's wondering if that's available.
So we're gonna give him money and get it back.
Taxes we will, I guess. Not,
That money was originally put in there for those were figured in there, and nobody's ever bought them, so I would say the money still goes to all those condos.
Okay.
Especially since it's gonna come back to pay the principal back. Did Bunchbach agree to that, or?
Has Bunchbach agreed to,
Paying down the
Paying
principal.
that down on the principal when he sells that condo.
let's say he offered it, and I don't know if it'll be up with him to get with the loan board. Work that out because I didn't get into percentages with him, Mr. Abbott. I just
We
told him a considerable amount.
help him out.
Yeah,
I think
he's-
this over here. So I make the motion to go with the $10,000 buyer assistance, as long as the full
Paid down
price
on the loan.
that's it's sold for goes to the principal of the loan he has with the city.
Full price?
Full price.
Okay.
I'd so move.
Second?
He moved, you're second in there,
Okay,
Donnie.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Those against?
Yeah, that project cost us some money.
Twice as much.
Yeah, it did.
Contingent upon paying.
Brutus.
No, he didn't have a choice. That factory went bankrupt.
You got that?
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, at 525 Walnut, across from the St. Lawrence Church, there's one house left there. the owner of that house,
It's Nichols.
is interested in the lot to the north, which is owned by the city.
The Nichols property, it's 533, you guys know which one? Okay.
And
Want to buy it for a yard or?
she said to build a house.
Has she approached you on that, Mr. Clark?
She asked about the lot, and I told her if she was interested, she would need to contact the redevelopment to see if they wanted to, I guess, get the lot appraised and advertise it. She didn't really indicate exactly what use she was going to have for it.
Well, with all the codes and regulations and everything, don't you think she needs to get clear with you first before we sell her that lot, and then it's tied up again?
Well, normally, Donnie, what I've seen you guys do is you'll advertise it for fair market value. I think Dollar General's the only one that's paid fair market value. Then normally we re-advertise it for proposals. And at that time, you can see what she is proposing to provide to the community in return for her purchasing that lot.
So the first thing we need to do is get the lot appraised.
Correct, to 2 appraisals.
Yeah, and advertise it for fair market value, see if anyone wants to jump at that.
The old appraisal.
Do that.
Okay, you making the motion?
To get it
Tony's making a
appraised,
motion, get them
advertise it for
appraised.
Fair market value.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All's in favor?
I'll go ahead and do the appraisals and the notice and offer then.
Against?
You're good with that?
Passed.
The old appraisal, it had a house on it, didn't it?
We can do it.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, it did.
We had trouble with that. We had trouble with that.
Is Noel still interested in that? He was wanting to put some kind of business in there at one time.
He owns,
The 2 lots next to it.
I think, 3 lots
3 lots.
next to
I
it.
would give him a
And,
shot at it when we send it out. to
well,
RFP.
when it goes out, it'll be advertised publicly, so.
Okay, back to new business, Leslie.
I don't know why this is even on there. They've signed the development agreement, Ivy Tech.
Or it's been too long.
There's they've signed the development agreement. This is the grant that of $2 million for the, and what's it called? I'm sorry, my brain is mush today. The manufacturing lab over at the new old Ivy Tech. And they've done everything, they've signed everything, so I'm not sure why this is even on here.
Okay.
It was just a status report.
Yeah, they've signed everything, they got it back to us. Maybe when they hadn't given it to me.
Yeah.
Well, they may now have given it to them. He gave it to me on Monday, I think, so.
Okay.
Okay, old business. Terry Larson?
Yep.
Thank you. What I was asking, I don't know, do you have just the paperwork? I'd given them a packet that had my preliminary numbers and everything in it.
Not
from when
a real good copy, I didn't get.
Yeah, that's what I mean, there's not a whole lot there, but the second page, which you can read, is where I had all my notes when I was going through. We bought the ground over there on Industrial Drive, and then as part of the agreement, I said, give us 60 days to talk to the engineering company that did the borings and everything, and let me get everything put together in that time frame. I talked to everybody. I went through what I had done in my preliminary budget, and then the revised numbers and everything that went through. And at that time, the electric service, apparently that's the only lot or whatever on Industrial Drive that doesn't have electric service to it. What I was told by Mel Davis, who was then the electric superintendent, the utilities director, was that we would do the digging. They were going to run underground. We would do the digging, put in the conduit. They would pull the wire, provide the transformer. Now Mr. Davis is gone, and the new utility director, basically, that's how I built my budget. I had $5,000 in the budget to get the service to me. Now the new electric, what they're telling me, it was gonna be, the first estimate they gave me was $30,000 to get electric to that property. So obviously, I didn't have anything close to that in my budget. And at the time that I bought it, I said, no, I didn't need any help or assistance, because it wasn't part of, that wasn't part of it. I mean, obviously, had I known that the price increase was going to jump over 300%, I might have asked for that, to get me the utilities there or whatever. But I had a couple meetings, and it went from like 29,000. I think you have a copy of those estimates too. They should be in there. The last estimate he came back with was, originally they were going to provide me 3-phase to the site. I said, okay, what's going to be the cheapest thing I can do? I don't necessarily need 3-phase for this building that I'm doing. So they revised it, and just going with single phase, now it's $17,107. The only thing that I would like to have 3-phase there, but I don't feel like it's my obligation to come up with the extra $26,000 to get it there. So I guess I'm looking for some help or direction. I was at the utilities board. They said come bring it back to redevelopment. So here I am.
How many people you employ back there?
My employees, mainly, the only on-site will have 3 to 4 people there at that building for me. Now, I've got another tenant that's going to move. There's going to be three meters, 3 services go in there, because the building, I'm leasing out 2 spots. The other one is relocating from another place in Lawrenceburg, so you're not really gaining anything there. But the other company is going to bring in, I think he'll have probably 3 people there, but he's going to have use part of the space for a lay-down yard. And I guess the other thing that I tried to convey is, all these years you've been getting 0 in taxes because the city owned it. I'm not even sure what my taxes are going to end up. They said it would be similar to some other properties there, which is going to be basically $4,500 minimum. So, I mean, you're going to gain, in a matter of 3 years' time, a minimum of the money back.
Mr. Lurson, why did Mr. Davis say yes, and the new guy, I don't know his name, why did he say no?
I think just because, I think because of the financial crunch that the utility department, I think that's a lot of it that he's basing on, because I've heard that there was another one that it was the same way, and that was a different situation, but.
So basically, all instead use us, it makes his budget look better.
Well, no, I
He's saying that this is going to be his policy from here on forward. And I said, that's fine, but I had my budget and everything figured from when,
Mel told you it was only going to be $2,600.
Grant's got his hand up.
Grant?
When Mel looked at it, and correct me when I go wrong here, Terry, if I do, Mel said that you could jump off of the transformer that was sitting down at the credit union.
Yeah, the original plan was, I think that's how all those properties are up there from the lower end.
Right.
Is they're just fed up through, and the original plan was we were going to just run underground from behind the credit union up to my site. Now, Poland doesn't want to do that. And like I said, I'm not an electric guy. Everybody's got a different opinion. Everybody's got a different way they want to do things. And I told him, I said, I don't care how you get it there. Do it the cheapest way. I don't care. And what he wants to do is come off the hill. So my whole thing is, if this is an industrial park, should be something a little bit closer, I would think, or better from my standpoint. All I'm saying is I was told what to include, I did that. And now that there's been a personnel change, like I said, if it had been a 10% difference, 15%, costs go up, I understand that, but this isn't even in the ballpark. I mean,
Mario,
I
you
went
know
from
anything on that?
$5,000 to $30,000.
In all fairness to Mel, it is an industrial park, but there was never anything planned for that void there. Never was any build-up or build-outs planned for that.
Until we decided to do
We, the
it.
staff,
Redevelopment.
the staff decided, we can probably squeeze something in there. So we came to redevelopment at that time, and that's when we redid that area.
Yeah,
So it didn't have any real infrastructure such as electric designed or planned to go there.
We're not able to go next door to his building, we gotta come up off the hill.
Well, there's a build, our big transmission line is, 150 foot up on the hillside there.
If we do that, if there's more building on the opposite side of the road or in between them, is there still some more property left there, some lots?
He still has property left to go to the north.
Will there be more building there? Or can we bring the
I
power
can't,
down there?
I mean, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be next year or 2 years or 3 years, but
Okay, besides your lots, are there any other lots there?
Yeah.
Well, after his property,
well-
it starts in where,
it's fed from the other end.
He's got a very
What I'm
big
trying to
lot.
figure out is if we bring the power down there, will it be of use to somebody else besides him?
I bought,
he has all the property from,
I bought a 20-acre parcel
yeah.
with everything but Electric, apparently.
That's
You
all.
got a good deal, though.
So I
But it was a
mean,
lifespan. I would say yes. I mean, he's not gonna commit to it right now, but there's 20 acres there. I mean, and there's nothing else that can really go down there besides an industrial or business, so.
It's all slab too, I think everything would have to be.
yeah.
To finish a little bit, so when that came up, he had the trenching in there, and then there was a material that Mel was going to put in place. I'd like to clarify, Olin is having to take a stand on this because he doesn't have the ordinances that allow him to subsidize electrical service to a location, okay? So that's where the rub comes in here.
Well,
And
plus there'd be an easement needed to
Yeah.
go through that property, am I correct, Terry? Because it's on the south side of that property had to be bridged. And
No,
power run through their property.
I own it all.
No, I'm talking about from the,
Credit union.
Credit union.
Their power's on my property.
yeah,
Oh, is it?
so we have to bring in that service.
So no, there's no easements. But to be fair, I mean, and like Olin's, what he's saying is to run the underground, like Mel had said, would be more expensive anyways, because the wire's heavier, and that's why I told him, I said, I don't care how you get it there, I don't want you to spend any more money than, I don't want to spend any more money than I have to, so I don't care how we get it there. And that's why he's saying it would be cheaper and better. It's just that now the owner, the way he's working on this whole plan, and what he's saying is whoever the purchasers are going to pay for literally every foot of wire, and that wasn't the old policy. You guys always brought and provided the transformer. Now I'm paying for everything, 100% of it. And that's why there's just been it's a total, and I get that, but this was a deal that was done ahead of time. I mean, literally, I called up, the foreman came out and said, yeah, we'll be here tomorrow to start on it, and he called me back 2 hours later and says, we got a problem.
Did I hear you say their power was on your property now?
But I'm not, you know what I mean?
How does that?
we were told it was on community or the,
United,
The surveyed.
Union Credit.
yeah. credit
That's what, I'm not here to make trouble, period. I'm not worried about that. That doesn't bother me, you know what I mean? That, where everything is now, I'm good with. It's just that I gotta try and get electric.
I think it's to everybody's benefit that if we run the power down there, run it down right, and for the future development of it, that I'm willing pay back the utilities.
Make that motion?
How much?
17,000.
100%?
Well, I gotta say,
Well,
before you
okay,
make
yeah.
that, before you put a price to it, I would find out what's gonna be needed for the future. There's no sense of going in there, if that's what your intent is.
I don't want to.
Do the three-phase down over the
I mean, if you're gonna do it and do it right, you should just run the, capable, do the three-phase, and then you can handle anything or any client that comes into that building if Terry sells it down the road.
Now, if,
We can do it for the future. If we have an agreement
Okay,
with the city.
what would the board like to do?
if he's got an agreement to pay $5,000, could you just say, hey, you pay the first $5,000?
Still gonna pay the 5.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that- I
then
mean, that's-
redevelopment will take it down to where it'll cover his building and another future building.
Well, or that future building will pay its percentage.
Do you need this done right now, Terry, or can you wait till the next meeting?
Man, I've been waiting over March here. The first estimate was the first week of March. I mean, I've been waiting since March to get electric in that building.
Yeah, I think you said you was using generators and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I would love, I mean, if you guys, like I said, I'll write you a $5,000 check tomorrow if we can get this moving. I mean, if we can,
I think it was a good point made. You pay the 5,000, the redevelopment pays the rest, but when future businesses come in, they pay their percentage.
Proportionate to that business.
Back to the redevelopment.
Huh?
Back to
Yeah.
redevelopment.
Well, yeah, we'll have to do the internal
We'll end up
accounting.
paying for it anyway, Terry. If it's always
but that's fine, because then I know what to plan for.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's not.
You know what the
All
policy.
right,
We apologize for the mess up.
I mean,
motion.
I'll make a motion for
You
the
just-
city to run three-phase down from the hill to his property, with him paying the first 5,000, and any future hookups have to pay back to redevelopment, 5,000.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? That's a good,
thank you very much.
Welcome.
Did you get
Appreciate
that down there?
Work it out.
Yeah.
okay, Grant Hughes, UCB.
UCB quotes on the alley. I believe you've got it, Leslie. I picked these up after 2 o'clock today from the clerk treasurer's office.
There's only one.
Company is Nippenberg Concrete Construction. And the amount is $11,800. Yeah, the E-Verify conflict of interest, nepotism, and detailed schedule.
Yeah. What exactly?
It'd only take 3 days. That's the only one we have, right?
The only one we've got. Like to have,
If you could, I'd really like to see if you guys would award this tonight and authorize me to go ahead and execute the contract so we could get this project done, so we can try to get the closing scheduled for that property.
What do you guys want to do?
Make the motion to accept the bid.
Do I have a second?
Second's the only one we got.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Do about that.
Pass.
All right, thank you. Les, I'll get that from you after the meeting.
Thanks.
okay, at the last meeting, last month, Mr. Lawrence asked about the status of the vet office at Fourth and Shipping. Mike's talked to him, and I think, Mike, you confirmed that they said they'll be complete by September?
Yeah, if you've noticed, they've been working over there about the last week and a half, 2 weeks. They have it scheduled to be completed and opened in September. I believe that falls within the purchase agreement, doesn't it, or
I believe
development?
it's September 19th.
It was September.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any
Mid-September.
questions on that, gentlemen? Not, row houses, CO and occupancy. Mr. Lawrence asked for the status on that. I think one unit, which is, John Davis's unit's like 90% complete, and the, John's unit is, got the floors in, and they still got to do
They gotta do the
bathrooms.
kitchen and the bathroom, but
Kitchen and
they only need a
bathrooms.
sink, I guess, basically to make the CO or whatever,
Yeah.
but.
I think this stems from, he thinks that there's some date out there that, these are supposed to be done by, but there's,
I checked the contracts on both of them, Mr. Davis's and
They
there
got
was
a
nothing.
big job, them's nasty.
Yeah, so there's no time constraints or for any callbacks or anything like that,
Big
so.
job.
okay. All right, the, next one, you want to take that one, Leslie?
Yeah, we did get a counter offer back from, Durban Plaza, which it actually is Alice Daniel, and the counter demand was 925,000 without demolition.
We didn't make that as that offer, as an offer, we was inquiring, wasn't we? The way we put that to them.
Yeah, well, we never really I don't think we've ever, and excuse me though, because this is, Joe Votal has been handling this case, but I don't believe we ever received an actual demand, money demand. This is kind of like the first time we've heard an actual number, besides the conversations that were had with staff or with Mr. Votal as far as those things, so.
He gave us a number before that.
We-
Wasn't it over $1 million or something?
No,
1.5.
Yeah, 1.5 million.
But-
So he's gone down to 900,000.
Well, we asked him, we would give him 750,000 if he tore it down. But now he's come back with 900,000, but we have to tear it down.
And that's what we don't want to do.
Plus, it's gonna cost us 450 to tear it down.
Is there anything you want to go back to him with, or, I mean, I don't know. At this point, they are asking for copies of the appraisals. They have not filed any kind of case yet, but they have filed that pending appeal action. So through the discovery, through a court case, they may be able to get the appraisals anyway, but, normally, anytime we do those two appraisals, like what you guys have done tonight, those are not discoverable, those are not public record, so, but this was different. I mean, this was something that we did kind of to try to work this thing out, so. But if there's anything you want to go back to him with, you can let me know. We don't have to necessarily make a decision tonight, but they were kind of waiting till after tonight's meeting, I guess, for any kind of response.
For the whole board to be here.
Was it 750 you said last time?
Table, but I don't think we're going to pay 900,000 plus 450,000.
Oh, God, no.
Like it's going to go to court. Right?
Based on that site over there, I think, we should stick to our guns.
Something don't get done, the whole thing's going to fall in anyway.
Yeah,
The windows.
that was Jackie's suggestion, just take a big truck over there and hit the side of it and it should all fall down. I didn't say that. Jackie did say that.
Okay, can we move on to the aging?
The last offer was what, Leslie?
Our motion to purchase it was 514,000 with the building being removed
Right,
at the last meeting.
okay. So,
Is that the appraised value of it? Did we get
Yeah,
it appraised?
yes. The average of the two was 514, and that's, right.
I don't see the value to expand, to move up.
So you'll respond with?
I mean, their response would be, their suit would be like, I'm sure Mr. Votal told you, would be interference with, a tortious interference with a contractual relationship for their tenant, for Dollar General. I'm sure that would be the main basis of it, which would be a tort, which then we would turn over to our insurance company because it is something that's covered under our, our insurance, but that's where we think they're going with it. That's, the suit would probably.
I don't see how that suit could go anywhere. I mean, the city never talked to them until after they were closed down. The health department closed it.
Okay, can we move on?
Okay.
Nothing.
So you
on
want
it.
that,
Leave the offer as stands.
No new offer. Okay.
okay, status on the application for the aging in place. We do have 5 applicants that seem like they'll qualify, but we are getting phone calls every day, and people are, I forget how many applications we've already gone through. So at the next meeting, we will have this pulled together, tell you how many applicants we've got. This is that $15,000 for 3 years through the Fed, and we'll probably put the application in. We have to have the application in by July 1, so next month we'll wrap this up, see if we can get everybody we can, and I'll be making a presentation to you all, and that'll tell us how many dollars we've got to match, which it's about 10% match. So a lot of interest so far.
I hope there was.
Next item is land 18 Bilby Road. Do you all recall where approximately Lynx Lynx fencing used to be located at Bilby and Industrial Drive?
The old Keller property,
It's right before you make a corner, right before you make the
doghouse.
corner.
Yeah. This got started with council. Councilman Cook requested that this property be transferred over to redevelopment for disposal. I believe somebody's interested in it for a bait shop eventually, but I don't have any other details. So we need to get it appraised and then advertise.
Do they need it longer to go?
So we're just seeing
I'll
motion.
make the motion to send it out for appraisal.
Okay, Tony, got a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion passed.
The next one is Ray Jean came over and signed. She wrote the check out, so that's just a deed and just everything. Okay. So that one's done.
Grant, are we, 318 Walnut?
Yeah, we talked about that at the last meeting. That parking lot behind the lawyer's office. And any other thoughts on that?
We need to do something. I mean, it's his property and 12 foot of it's our property.
We can park some cars on there, but we have to get over his property to do it.
Get to it.
Yep.
Gonna do
It's
a right
crazy.
entry.
It's right there. We walked back there and looked at it.
But he needs a right entry too.
I think you guys,
He can't park and we can't
I
park.
think the
Is he
motion,
interested in buying our piece of the property?
We asked him, he said he really doesn't need a parking lot. I think Les was there. but-
no, because he's now, because he didn't realize this either until recently, right? Is
Correct.
what we understood. And now he has to purchase insurance because, it's a liability. So he really doesn't want it.
If he doesn't want it, would he give us a 50-year lease on it for $1? You don't
They
have to
make him a
pay,
proposal, I
you
mean.
don't have to pay insurance.
Question back there, Tom.
Yes, sir. Come on up. Excuse me.
Well, last.
Is
they
this
said-
concerning the parking lot? Okay.
My name is Tom Schneider. I'm on a subcommittee about the parking, about public parking. And this is one of the lots that came up, and there is a problem parking on Walnut Street. There are people who have purchased buildings on the this side of Walnut Street, and the Chamber of Commerce employees, Dearborn Chamber of Commerce employees are now parking on Walnut Street, and the people who have businesses they cannot park there. And the chamber people, there's not enough room behind the chamber building, so we need to do something to improve the parking on Walnut Street. I know that Tony says that we should be happy, but we shouldn't be happy to have employees of businesses, whether it be the chamber or any other business, parking on city streets when they should be parking behind them or in a lot. So whatever you do, so long as you do something, would be appreciated.
Well, the last time you guys had brought up whether or not to get a user agreement, we could get some kind of license, but he's not gonna probably do that for free. But if it was just for event parking, we could very well, you know what I mean, do it on an event by event basis.
That doesn't help us out.
No, it doesn't.
And I guess it was used by the people on Walnut Street for the employees, they parked in that lot.
The chamber.
Well, the chamber, for one, has 6-8 employees.
Well, why can't the county buy it then?
Did they give you a dollar figure on what he wanted for that lot?
We come back to you guys, we never,
Yeah.
maybe you want to sit there and give Leslie some authorization to discuss or negotiate. But no, we have not talked to him.
I think I'll have Stats go and buy it for $10. That's the lot, man.
Well, it was an honest mistake. He didn't know he owned it.
We didn't know.
We didn't know
I don't
either.
know how it got by us.
No, it just got added, when Pitcher had it, we figured out that that lot just got added onto that parcel,
Yes.
because he bought them together. And then when we transferred it to Mr. Curtis, when you know what it was,
It's
2004,
been appraised.
09.
was it 08 or 09?
Okay.
It's been appraised.
No.
Curtis's was to begin with.
Yes, it was. Joe was here when,
Well, the whole
But-
property would have been appraised.
Right.
Not that,
To begin
not the improved parking lot. Not that parcel.
It was already improved, Mike.
That's
Yeah,
why
it
you want
was
to get
appraised.
this.
It was already improved.
We just missed splitting it out.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, it was all appraised stuff.
I mean, I could go back and look at that, but that's gonna be 08 or 09.
It's not be good enough for us to buy.
No, we're gonna have to get new ones if you wanna try to do
Make a
that.
motion to get it appraised and.
okay,
can
do we
go
have a
from there.
second?
Second.
All in favor? All right,
It's still a good problem, Tom.
okay. Okay, Leslie Votal, Dollar General Review.
Yeah. I just brought the contract with you. There is, well, okay, so we're getting down to it. This, Mr. Rafferty, who bought the property, has already gone through all of the Plan Commission and the BZA variance process. And when we wrote the contract, we said the closing on the property shall occur within 6 months from the date of the approval of the residential subdivision plat by the Sellers Advisory Plan Commission and Common Council. When talking with Mr. Clark, I realized that they actually needed it. He needs to start the commercial first, and then we'll do the residential. And the reason we gave him that deadline was because we gave him 2 years to build the retail building and the residential subdivision, okay? So my thing is we need to have a closing beforehand, so that he can start on the commercial and get Dollar General built.
What do you need done so we can get started?
I just basically need an amended contract that says, that clears it up, so he's still gonna he still has to do it within 24 months, but, the closing can happen sooner than that,
Make a motion for you to make the amendment.
okay?
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion passed.
I will do that. And can you also, since Mr. Lawrence isn't here, can you also authorize Mr.
Rogers.
Rogers to sign that, please?
That's so moved.
Okay, we got a first and second. All's in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, approval of claims once properly certified. Do I have a motion? Second?
Second.
All's in favor? Against? It's passed. All right, comments from the audience. Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? All's in favor?
All right.
Thank you. I got us through there.
Yeah, good job. Still would have been talking about that.
Huh?
So we still would have been talking about that.
Slow down now.
Connie, thank you for your work, hon.
Oh, I hope not. Yeah, air conditioner working on
I don't know.
Tomorrow,
Is this your first down here?
Yes,
probably.
Yeah, I was
late
sitting there and
morning.
then I moved. Like 11? I got something at 11:30.
Set your pads on.
Booked
iPad.
early. Or,
Thank you.
I don't know if I've got anything for the afternoon or not.
I got something at 11:30, so. it's kinda
Call me after lunch.
Okay, I'll call you up. Okay, thanks.
And we're gonna hang on these, we made this thing up on these landlords, that when people moved out, you gotta go in and inspect before they can turn the utilities back. Change the utilities and they, you know,
Yeah, I know. I tried to get it.
Yes, okay.